Hello, Seed Panel. This is going to be a webinar specific to Seed, as there are a number of uploads that you're going to be reviewing for the first time. So I just want to quickly go through that process. So, to get access to our grant guidelines, you Google the New Jersey Office of Faith-Based Initiatives, scroll down, and click the Seed Guidelines, Social Enterprise Entrepreneurship Development. And so, we have two funding categories: seed growth and seed startup. If you scroll down, the only thing that's different this year is that they need to upload a logic model, and they also need to, I think they've all done it. They've also need to upload the revenue analysis spreadsheet and a business canvas model. And I'll quickly go through what that is. I've been playing with the idea. The business canvas model is akin to a logic model for social enterprises. And I had them upload a more traditional logic model, just so that they get the transition from the logic model and the business canvas model. And that the business canvas model and the logic model and the revenue analysis was explained in their Seed webinar Q&A. So that's that. And then if you scroll further down, back to our grant page, there is the revenue analysis worksheet and the business canvas model. And I'll explain that as we moving forward. So let me just quickly go through this. I know all of you have read from me in the past. So this is going to be preaching to the choir. So everybody received their username and password. This is the SAGE website, www.sage.nj.gov. Remember, do not use Google Chrome. Use Safari or Microsoft Edge. Remember to always hit the save button. If you have any questions, you can contact me. That's my cell. You have my email. And now we're going to go live to the actual, where the heck are we going live to? Oh, to the actual. So, you get in there, you log. If you forgot your username and password, you click on username and password. Jasmine, I'm using your username and password to get in, because you're all doing the same application. So if you scroll down, you'll see social enterprise. You get to the My Task page, you'll see Social Enterprise Entrepreneurship Development 2024. And these are the applications assigned to you. And I've done a lot of work the last 18 months to try to get more different organizations to submit. And so the Bergen Volunteer Center, I think when you start reading it, does not apply to the SEED application. It's actually a civic and engagement application. So I'm telling you now to just disqualify it, because I'm going to disqualify. So there's no need to read 005. And what you can do is you're going to have to put zeros in all the sections in the rating sheet. And in your comments, indicate the application is not a SEED application. It's actually a civic and engagement application. So it's disqualified. Okay. There are with not counting Bergen Volunteer Center, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 applications. Out of the 12 applications, the following are startups: Brothers Building a Better Nation, Chosen Generation, Greater Mount Zion Community Development Corporation, Mexican Alliance, National Educational Network, NJMVP, Oasis, Safe Space, Most Excellent Way. The other three are growth applications: Community Action Service Center, Elijah's Promise, and Women's Center for Entrepreneurship Corporation. And so those are. And then the ones that we funded in the past were Women's Center for Entrepreneurship. Elijah's Promise, we funded them years ago, so you need to review that as a new growth application. And for the past few years, we've been we've been funding Community Action Service Center. In fact, for as long as we've had seed, they've been getting a grant from us. All right. So let's just open up to the application really quickly. So if you so you can read, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, you can read the application in one or two ways, right? You can actually read it directly from the portal. So if you click executive summary, you can actually read it here, which can be time consuming and laborious, I guess, right? Or you can create a full print version, like hovering over management tool, create full print version. And then, you know, you'll click the logic model, the revenue sales, the revenue analysis spreadsheet, and the business model canvas, and the revenue sales, revenue analysis spreadsheet. And then you click print version. And what happens when you click print version, you'll get a PDF version of the application, which I think is easier to read. And it'll include, you know, all the sections of the application, as well as the budget and the revenue analysis spreadsheet. So this is new for all the applicants. They've never done anything like this. And so we have to, especially for the startups, this is new information. They've never been asked to think about a program in the way that I'm asking them to think about it. And so the revenue analysis spreadsheet is a tool that helps them see, you know, what is the potential total sales projection or income projection. So it'll say impact investment would be the investment from OFBI, and you know, the spreadsheet calculates, you know, if they received 100% of the grant, 75% of the grant, or 50% of the grant, which would be 10,000, 7,500, or 5,000. And then projected sales based on their revenue generating model, they're saying $35,000. Remember, this is a startup, so and this is a nonprofit that's used to over projecting numbers, and I think this is what you're seeing here. So, you know, as a startup and you're prototyping and testing the approach, it's not clear to me that you're going to be able to reach a revenue status of $35,000 when you're prototyping and testing, but this is where they're at. And so, you know, if they get funded, what's presented here and what's presented in the application for a startup project may not be what they end up doing in terms of the startup applicants, right? For grants, they're indicating $20,000 at 75%. So they're saying that probably will reach about $15,000. That's what they're saying. And for donations, they're saying that they're going to receive about $5,000. So at least it gives us a sense and gives the applicant, forces the applicant to look at their social enterprise and say, okay, what's realistic here? And then if they get funded, then we will work with them and say, okay, let's reshape this analysis to something that represents an approach that's being prototyped and tested. And then if you scroll further down, it is the business canvas model. Now, the business canvas model is akin to the logic model for social enterprises. And since this is a new approach, I didn't just want to say, okay, you're going to do this and then not do the logic model, since they've been so accustomed to doing the logic model. So there's like 9 major areas of the business model canvas: key partners, key activities, value proposition, customer relationship, customer segments, channels, key resources, cost structure, and revenues. And then there's questions above, right below each major title that they need to answer. Now, again, this is completely new for this application and for the applicants that are submitting it. So they're trying to do the best they can. And so I would use this as a tool to see where they're at, where they're where they're at in their thought process about the revenue generating model, and what is it that I need to work with them if they're approved funding to revise this business model canvas to represent a true canvas of an enterprise that will be prototyped and tested. And they may not know what the channels are, but they took a nice guess. They may not know what the value proposition is, but they have questions above here that prompt them. So they got it in, and I think that's a feat in and of itself. And then they submitted a traditional logic model, which they should try to make it align with the budget. That the resources column should align with the budget. The activities should align with the activities that they indicate in their application for the social venture. The outputs are the goals, the outcomes are the objectives, and then the impact is the impact that they think that the participants will have. That how they needed to think about it was these goals and objectives should be business goals and objectives, and that the impact is the value proposition that's being purchased by the capital market, and what is it that they're purchasing and why would they purchase it. That's how they need to think about it. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's how they're thinking about it, because remember, they're startups and this is all new to them. And so in order for us to help them out, we need to get them in order to help them out. All right. That's that for that. And so now we're going to go to the rating sheet. And I think all of you, all of you have done this for us in the past, especially Jasmine, Yamalet, and Krishna. I'm really going through this for, let me see if this is it, for Sherry, as she's going to be reading an application that Krishna, not that Krishna, that Yamalat is recusing herself from. And so it's the same process for all the applications. You do the initial reading. Comments are huge. I need comments. If you give an organization the highest grade possible, let's say a 7.5, I need comments of why they received a 7.5, not that they touched all areas of the application or of this section. That I need something to give them, because just because they received a 7.5 doesn't mean that they're going to get funded. And if they don't get funded, they're going to want to know why. And the only information that we can give them are the comments that you insert in the boxes. And so please, try to keep the comments. Try to give more context to the comments. And so it's the same thing, you put the score, you put the comments in, you scroll it all the way down. Sage calculates this for you. And then you come down to the bottom for the draft. If it's what is it? Is it also this year? It's a little different. The written application is 80, scores 80, and the pitch is 20. Right. So that's a good point to make sure that we have. So the total scores will come out to 80. And so they need to score, I think they need to score, the lowest score to be moved to the pitch is, let me see, is 50. Because 50 plus 20, the pitch is 20, is 70. There we go. So to move over to the pitch, you have to at least score 50 for the deliberation, right? So all the preliminary scores need to come in by May 18th, and based on the preliminary scores, we'll know, who's going to go to the. No, we don't. You do the deliberation, and based on the deliberation final score, we'll know who's going to be invited to the pitch. So the preliminary scores need to be in by May 18th, and I need the panel to email me a date for their June pitch and their June deliberation, so that I can give the applicants at least a save the date for their pitch date. All right, so that's kind of it. I think this panel is the most experienced group of folks that I have on my peer review team. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. And I'm looking forward to working with you again. Thanks a lot and have a nice day.